What do you get when you combine brown sugar, coconut, and cinnamon? How about a cozy coconut coffee cake loaf? I know that's a mouthful. And if you don't like coconut, don't worry because we can change that out. So come on with me and let's get this going. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And in this bowl here, we're gonna start with the streusel topping because we want that to sit. So in a bowl here, I've got 3 tablespoons of cold butter just cut up into little cubes. To that, I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. Nothing fancy here. This is a pretty basic recipe. I've got 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now, there's golden brown sugar, there's dark brown sugar. You use what you like. I always use dark because it has a higher molasses content and I just like it better, the flavor. I'm also gonna add about 2 tablespoons of coconut. Now, if you don't like coconut, you don't have to add coconut. You can add chopped walnuts, you can add chopped pecans. You don't even have to add anything extra to it if you don't want to, if you just want a simple coffee cake loaf. So we like coconut and I like the flavor of it. So I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of desiccated coconut in there. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, just about, my butter's salted, so I only do about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If you're using unsalted butter, use about 1 teaspoon. And I'm gonna use cinnamon. Now, measure with your heart. I love cinnamon and things, so this is a coffee cake. So I'm going to be adding about a good 2 teaspoons of cinnamon to this because we really wanna taste that in there. And that's it. So that's your streusel topping, as you can see here. As you can see, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my fork, I'm just gonna mash it all up here, and you want a nice crumbly mixture. Once you get this all in a nice crumbly mixture, put it in the fridge while we put the cake together, or the loaf together, and then we're gonna put this inside and on top of our loaf. So we'll come back and get the loaf started. Okay, for the cake part, I've got 1/2 cup of butter here, just room temperature softened. To this, I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of white sugar, and I'm gonna add 2 eggs. I'm using brown eggs. It doesn't matter what kind of eggs you use. 2 eggs in this, room temperature eggs if you can. And if you forget to put them out at room temperature, because I do that all the time, just put them in a little bowl with some warm water and that'll bring the temperature right down. It's perfect. So to this, so now we've got our sugar, our butter, and our 2 eggs. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I don't usually measure vanilla, but about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to use 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now, use full fat sour cream. It's really important in this because you'll get a lot of water content if you try to use light or low fat. So 1/2 cup of full fat sour cream. This really makes your cake super, super moist. And I mean, when you have a coffee cake or any other type of cake, you want it to be really moist. And this is a secret ingredient in this one. And that's it. That's it for the cake, for the liquid ingredients. And I'm going to take my mixer to this and give it a good beat because we really, really want to fluff this and lighten this up. So I'm going to give this a mix and we'll come back and check it. Okay, I beat this up for about 2 minutes, so it's really nice and light and fluffy. So in a separate bowl, I've got my dry ingredients I've just mixed up, and I've got 1 1/4 cups of flour in here, all-purpose flour. I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, all mixed in here. So it's nice to blend those in separately. And we're just gonna add this in. So after I do the mixer, for a loaf like this, it's always good to just use your spoon or spatula or something just to mix it, because you don't wanna overmix this. So I'm just gonna gently mix this in here. Now it's gonna be a thick batter, but that's okay, you want that. That's all I'm mixing. Everything's in there, there's no clumps of flour or anything like that. I'll show you here, as you can see. Everything's nice and mixed in, and it's kind of thick, right? But that's okay, that's the way we want it to be. So, in a separate dish here now, I've got my loaf pan. I'm just using a standard loaf pan, and I've sprayed it with a little bit of oil. Now, what I do is I really like to take a piece of parchment paper, and I just cut it in a strip, and I just stick it in the pan here. Hopefully you can see that. I just stick it in the pan and leave little kind of tails hanging over. That way when you go to take the loaf out, it makes it really nice and easy. Just a little trick. So to this, we're gonna add 1/2 of our batter in the bottom of the loaf pan. So we're just gonna put 1/2 in here. Just eyeball it, doesn't have to be exact. And then we're just gonna spread that out like that. So as you can see, I've just spread that in the bottom like that. Now we're gonna take our crumb mixture that was in the fridge And we're gonna put half of that on top of that batter we just put in. So we're just gonna put half in. Yep, there you go. Put half and just spread it around with your fingers. And then I just give it a little press down. I just find it incorporates it nicer into the loaf. So just give it a little press, make sure your loaf is right to the edges. There, just like that. And then there's our crumb mixture. Then we're gonna put the rest of the batter in, and then the last of the streusel topping on the top. So then you get the nice coffee cake streusel topping on the top and in the middle. That's the best, I'm telling you. And what led me to make this today, I'll be honest with you. Okay, sorry, my bowl's a little noisy here. I love these bowls with the little thumb hold here. Oh my gosh, I love these. But what led me to make this today is because I had a craving for some muffins. I just wanted a nice, simple muffin. And we were out running errands, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll just run into the grocery store here, and I was going to pick up some little like coffee cake muffins, something like that, simple. And I could not believe for 4 muffins, it was $8.50. $8.50. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm going to make something. So making homemade is always the best. I know time constraints can sometimes affect that, but homemade is always better. And this is such an easy loaf to make, honestly. And there we go. We're going to spread that out. I like to get all the batter. We don't want to leave anything behind. Scrape it off the spoon here and spread that over. And then we're going to take the last of our streusel topping and just dump that on top and spread it around. So good. You can smell the cinnamon. And like I said, this has coconut in it, but you don't have to put coconut. If you want to put nuts, or if you just want to leave it out completely, you can. So just give that a little press down all over. Make sure it's nice and even. This is going to smell. And there we are. There's our loaf. So I'm going to pop this in a 350-degree oven, and it's going to take about 50 minutes. And we'll come back and have a piece when it's ready. So when you're testing your loaf or your cake for doneness, you want to just stick a knife in. You don't want to see crumbs stuck on there. If you see crumbs stuck on your knife, don't pay attention to that. That's just from the top. But if you see crumbs stuck on the bottom part when you put it in, or whatever it is you're using, if you see crumbs, that means it's overcooked. It's dry. So you want to see like a little bit of that moisture still on there, but it's done and ready to go. Okay, our loaf is all done. I've taken it out of the oven and I've let it sit for about 15 minutes, and it smells so good. It's really, really warm still, but I'm going to take it into the pan. I just wanted to show you. So we put the parchment papers in, so you have kind of like little tails there, and I've got a plate here, and I just want to show you how easy it is to lift that out with the little tails. It makes it just so much easier pulling it out, and then you've got easy cleanup. So we're going to take our little loaf here, and we're going to cut it up. So there's our loaf already. I wish you were here to have some with me and a cup of coffee. So we're going to cut this up. It's very, very warm. It's always better if you can let it sit and cool for a little while before you cut it, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like. Oh my, it's going to be so moist. Oh, it smells delicious. Look at that. I have to taste it there. So good. And there's the inside of our coconut coffee cake loaf. Oh, it smells so good. I cannot wait to have a cup of tea with this and taste it. I hope you give this a try, because I know you are gonna love this recipe. I almost forgot to do a taste test on this. Oh my goodness. Cut this up. We have to do a taste test. I wish you were here to share it with. As you can see, look at it. Nice crumb, really, really nice and moist. And there's our streusel in the middle there. You can see, so it's on the top and right through the middle. So good. So, so good. And as I said earlier, if you don't like coconut, you don't have to put coconut in. We love coconut. But if you like nuts, pecans, walnuts, anything like that, you can add it to it. But even just plain, it's delicious on its own. But this is absolutely delicious. So easy, and you're gonna love this.